welcome to Monorants, the only boys rewatch podcast that takes the time to talk about Melrose Place. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and with me is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
I has a kitty!
Kira has a kitty on her lap. And today we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 4, Nothing Like It in the World. Here's your obligatory spoiler warning for the comics and later episodes of the show. Kira, like this episode? Bit slower than the last episode, I thought.
Yeah, a bit slower, but still really nicely paced because you get a chance to absorb the information as opposed to the previous episode where it was all like bombarding you and you were as panicked as they were trying to do it.
This episode's definitely more character driven as well.
Yeah, no, there's a lot more backstory going on. The slower pace really lends itself to it.
Yeah, it definitely works better for it. And our creative team for this one was a director we've seen before. It's Frederick Toy. And the writer was Michael Saltzman, who's kind of as much a writer as he is a producer, it seems. And he's worked on like Arrested Development, Mad Men, and some really like odd early 90s stuff like Murphy Brown and Wings.
Wings?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a producer for 8 episodes of the show, or of The Boys as well. Quick summary for the episode, I suppose, is in order as ever. Mallory shows a softer side and sets Butcher on a rescue mission, while Huey and Annie head on a road trip to find out about 70s Soup Liberty. Frenchie doesn't know how to help Kimiko, and Stormfront shakes a few more of Homelander's screws loose.
Yeah, fair assessment. Show opens with this random chick just giving an interview and you get zero context when she's talking about communication and how important it is.
Yeah, you don't get context until the very end of the episode.
It's communication, this whole episode revolves around it and its breakdown and how it can be manipulated.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice little kind of, this is what we're talking about this week. Before moving into Frenchie making some sort of weird
drug cocktail. Yeah.
I think it's the thing he's making in season 1 that he offers Huey.
No, like the candy flip.
Yeah.
No, I think he's just having an out drug cocktail.
He's not in a good way. He's taking all the drugs. Kimiko is not in a good way. She's watching all the news coverage. And can we just have a round of applause for Stormfront? And that death toll, like, obviously a very sarcastic round of applause.
I should hope so.
Yeah, just damn. If you hadn't kind of realised that there's something really wrong going on with her, that should have clued you in by now.
Yeah.
But Kimiko's back. She's reverted back to form. She's under a table, watching a TV. It's her safe spot. She's so angry.
Yeah, and heartbroken and
just grief-filled and doesn't know what to do with it. So Frenchie decides to make the situation worse by attempting to kiss her.
Yeah, it's not really a good idea, to be honest.
No, but he's also really fucked up and high as shit. So his judgment skills, I'm not excusing his behaviour, but they're both as messed up as each other.
Well, I think
he's really messed up because he can't help her, and it's like the guilt as well that if he had just kind of paid attention to what's going on with her, he might have been able to stop it somehow.
He knows.
It's his fault that the brother got loose.
Yeah, he certainly seems like the type who'd be blaming himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only a little short scene, and then we cut to somebody else watching Stormfront's TV appearances.
Oh, Homelander.
Seething with rage.
This episode is just such a portrayal of Homelander's spiraling mental state. His paranoia is ratcheting up. His rage. He's just getting more and more worked up over Stormfront and the way she's treating him.
Yeah. And it's just a short scene where we see him getting really pissed off and then he flies off. I think the first time I watched that, I was like, oh, he's off to see Ryan again.
Yeah, the way he lands and it looks like the front steps. Is that the little news sequence where she's actually calling for the protest outside of Vought Square the next day? I think so,
yeah.
So she's out there drumming up all this anti-Vought sentiment, anti-Seven sentiment, and is organising a protest, basically.
Yeah, Homelander can't handle it and flies off to what I thought was Ryan's and Becca's place, but it turns out it's a random cabin, and he's got a Madeline Stillwell stashed away there.
Yeah.
And it's all very confusing and just as sexual and based around milk as we would have come to expect from Homelander.
Never been so glad in my life to be lactose intolerant, because if I wasn't, I'd be put right off milk at this point. I wouldn't be able to drink it without gagging a little bit.
I remember just watching this the first time and just being like, but what?
He melted her face off!
Yeah, why? Obviously.
Also, nice boobs.
We get...
Just as an aside, the little baby doll negligee, and she comes out and it's very Stepford wife. Yeah. With this, like, homey... Can I say the cabin is lovely? I kind of want it. But it's this lovely homey... There's a roaring fire.
Yeah.
She's, like, the dutiful wife coming out in the negligee with the little high-heeled feathered slippers with the glass of milk. Like, she's just missing, like, the cigar and the whiskey.
Yeah, I got Austin Powers fembot vibes as well.
Yeah, but that's... Yeah.
Yeah, that just a short scene to confuse the fuck out of us. Obviously, we find out what's going on later.
You.
And then we cut to Butcher and Mallory meeting up.
Yeah, outside the tower where the massacre essentially occurred.
Yeah, and Butcher basically says that they've kind of botched it.
Yeah, well, they've run down, they've hit a dead end with the Rayner investigation.
And he does look like he's sorry for that.
Yeah, well, he respected Rayner.
It's not just that he can't get
with their
Becca.
own animosity. He did have a level of respect for her and for what she was doing.
And he knows it was a soup who did it, so he rightly wants to get revenge for that as much as anything else. But yeah, it was nice to see there does seem to be a bit of growth in Butcher in this episode, and he does seem to have remorse that he hasn't been able to track down Rayner's killer.
Yeah, well, it also means that they don't know a soup who can explode heads.
Yeah.
Mallory makes the comment that they can't have an anonymous head exploding soup out there, so given how extensive her research and files were, this is an unknown entity that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Her story about her dream is heartbreaking.
Yeah, we get a little bit of her motivation behind it in that she dreams about all the people who have been killed or hurt by soups staring at her in an audience when she's up on stage on her own.
And they're waiting for her to do something and she can't.
Waiting for her to do something about it. And I thought the bit where she hands off Becca's location to him was really touching. Yeah,
she's the one who made him stop looking, and she feels bad because if she hadn't...
Had she known,
they could have gotten Becca out of there years ago.
Yeah, and it would have been a benefit to everybody. It would have been a benefit to Butcher. It would have been a benefit to the CIA because they would have had Homelander's kid whisked away when he was very young. But I think for Mallory, it is more about the personal toll.
Yeah.
That this is something she wants to make amends for.
It's something small she can do. She doesn't need it for leverage.
Yeah, and as she says, it's one less person in the audience. And Butcher he is genuinely shocked.
Yeah. Well, the first thing out of his mouth is, well, I didn't honour the deal.
Yeah. And I think I said it when we were watching it as well. It just shows how that to Butcher, everything is transactional, or should be transactional. You know, I do this thing for you and you do this thing for me. And Mallory's like, no, I'm just doing this thing.
Yeah, can you just
take
stop just for a minute? No, it's nice to see more emotional side of Mallory because she does come across as very kind of stone, professional. It's nice to see as a more emotional part of her. And the developments that we get of her character here, I think, helps explain her choices later in the season. Yes. I won't say much more than that, but the choices she makes later in the season would be confusing if it was just like the Mallory we had seen at the end of season 1 and the start of season 2. No, she's starting to get emotionally involved again. She also hands off the file on Liberty. It's not the file, it's just that with the address on it, and said she was all over Rayner's server. Yeah, so whatever it is, it's connected to that. Whatever Rayner was into that caused her head to go pop. Yeah. Or it certainly could be part of the reason. Yeah, but it's a very strong possibility that is the link, that's the missing link. To go off and look up that and see what they can find out. And apart from Frenchie and the female, that makes up the rest of what the boys are up to for the episode. Yeah. Butcher's now off on his mission to find Becca. Well, he goes back to the base and explains to MM what's happened after his meeting with Mallory. Yeah, and that he has an address for her and he's going to go get her and get her out. And rightly so, MM's just like, what? You're going to infiltrate a basically involved black site? Yeah, a heavily armed involved black site, and you think you're going to get out of there? Yeah, and also this means you can't come back. What are we going to do? You're leaving us. And he's like, what about Frenchie? And he's like, oh, well, Frenchie's been high for days, so he'll be fine. And then he says, what about Huey? And there's a pause. And Butcher does play it off as like, oh, I don't want him to snot all over my coat. But there is a genuine moment there where he's like, oh shit. Like, I brought him into this. I'm somewhat responsible for him. I think he does have a genuine affection for him. I think... Or at least concern. Yeah, there's definitely more
emotion from Butcher, and he's in this episode, especially later on, he has to come to terms with the
consequences.
the consequences of his own actions and his own being, essentially who he is. Catches up with him.
Everything he's done at this point has been leading to this end, and now this end is in sight. And he's having to stop and reflect about all the people he's fucked over along the way. Yeah. Because he may then need them. Yeah. He hasn't thought past getting Becca. No. He's been so fixated on getting Becca that now when he's being faced with the possibility of actually getting her, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he hasn't really thought about what's going to happen next.
And also how much she's his world, she's his compass, everything. So like, how is she going to judge him based on his actions and everything he had to do to get her back?
Yeah, and we see that later on, like all the scenes between Becca and Butcher. Yeah. The way that plays out is, well, it's everything that you just said, like. But yeah, I just thought it was nice to see, because not that I hated Butcher, like, well, I did and I didn't. Like, obviously I loved the characterization of him in the show, but he's such an unbelievable bastard.
Oh, he's a prick.
And it's nice to see that even before he gets Becca back, that as you said, Becca's his like moral compass. But the closer he gets to Becca, the more reasonable. Like, it's like the bits of bastard start to drop away the closer he gets to Becca.
Yeah, the walls are coming down. Yeah. And he's reverting to this person that she loved. It's like he's had to don a persona to get the job done. It's his work mode.
He certainly likes to think that, you know, when Becca's there, he's a good person. And when Becca's not there, and when Becca's gone, he turns into this monster. That seems to be how he likes to view it. And it's put to him later on in the episode that that's not who he is at all. No. And it was nice because there's elements that they've brought in throughout the Becca and Butcher stuff that is straight out of the comics. Like, there's a few lines she says about him that it's nice to have delivered directly from Rebecca to Butcher, as opposed to Butcher reading it in her diary, which is the way it is in the comics. So it was really nice to have it put right in his face. Yeah. And he has no choice but to deal with it. Yeah, the two of them actually as well. I can't remember the actress who plays Rebecca's name. Chantal Van Sant. Yeah. But her and Carla Van, every bit of their acting in this episode is great. Bar one thing. Carla Van can't smoke.
That's the smoking such a small thing, though.
Oh, I know, but it's always funny.
Smoker to spot it.
Yeah, it's always funny when you spot people who don't smoke being asked to smoke on film.
He leaves the task of tracking down Liberty, and he takes off for a black site. Clearly that big ass Jurassic Park wall is as useless as the ones in Jurassic Park. Yeah. He just stuff that gets figured to the camera. How shitty are their security? Like, he's a wanted felon. Every person involved is looking for him. And did they just let him waltz into this compound where he then proceeds to lurk about for 2-3 days?
Yeah, and they'll have...
Like, he makes it the whole way into her car. Have they let him in? Were they watching him?
Well, they'll have known that Butcher's been there because they know Homelander's there, and they'll have reviewed the tapes because they seem to have cameras everywhere. And Butcher even says, you know, is there anywhere that doesn't have a million cameras around it? It's like, do they not have cameras on the perimeter? Would they not think that would be the first thing that Billy would try and do, would be get back in?
To the place where he's been? Yeah, so they have... I'm not going to get into all the conversations that they have, but there is basically a massive come to Jesus moment between them where she realises just how deep his hatred of Soup is. Yeah. She comes to the realisation that he is there to save her, not Ryan.
Nope, he doesn't care.
He will leave that kid. He does not care. He doesn't care that it's Becca's son. Nothing like that. As that kid is a Soup. Yeah. End of story. He's better off where he is. She has that realisation and is basically like, I can't do this. It is my son. Yeah. I don't care what the fuck you think. And she also drops the bombshell on that she didn't save him. She was always afraid that, you know, it would just be one little thing and he would go on.
Bad day away from a complete freak out.
And she can't deal with that anymore. And then calls Vought security on him.
Yeah, well, I think she does that because she knows it's the only thing
that'll stop him from pursuing her. Yeah. But watching that through and the heartache on her, as this is the person that she loved, who she wanted to have children with, and she's had the misfortune of having a child with somebody else through no fault of her own. And he hasn't even considered the possibility that this might hurt her.
You know, when she actually says, like, they have to bring Ryan, and she says, you'll find some way, when she's trying to say that why she won't go.
Yeah, he'll find
some way. He might not even mean to, but he'll find some way. And he tries to say, well, look, he's $1 billion asset. They won't just leave him alone. We'll never escape if we bring him with us.
Yeah.
That's as far, I think, as Billy's taught it.
Yeah.
For him, that's enough reason to not bring Ryan. Because he doesn't want to accept that the real reason he doesn't want to bring Ryan is because he hates everything Ryan represents.
Yeah.
What happened to Becca and Soups all rolled into one bundle. And I don't think he wants to, he's not ready to accept that's the real reason. And she straight up says that is. Yeah. You will find some way to get rid of him, even if you don't mean to. You hate him. And he does, then he ends up blurting out the line of, for fuck's sake, he's a soup freak.
Yeah.
And immediately is like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, it's hot today. Milk was a bad choice.
But he means it.
He does.
And you can see...
No matter how he tries to dress it up, he's never, ever... He's not there for Ryan.
And you can see that he's forced to realise that everything that's happening to him right now is on him.
Yeah.
The reason that Becca won't come with him is because of him. He's driven his own wife away.
Who was the driving force of his actions.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic?
Yeah. and you never get anything like that in the comics.
No. Well, in the comics, she is actually dead. Like, the child does kill her, and Butcher witnesses that and has to smash the baby to death with a lamp, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So there's he doesn't have anybody who directly confronts him over his actions in that manner. He has that sort of emotional connection to.
He has one bit towards the very, very end of the comics. I won't say exactly where, but where he's about to go off on a big kind of what he thinks is a final crusade, much like here.
Yeah.
And before he goes off on it, he says to Becca, I know you would hate what I was about to do if I thought you could see me like you. I know you would hate everything I'm about to do. No matter what I tell myself, this isn't about justice for you. I know this is all purely for me.
Yeah.
That's the closest he gets to it in the comics. So it's nice to see him basically slapped in the face with it in this episode.
No, yeah, and the fact that there's an emotional connection there because he doesn't have that with anybody else, realistically, makes it more poignant. And honestly, she's probably the only one who would get through to him in that way.
Yeah.
Up until this point, you don't get very many Butcher standalone sequences.
No, the short ones where he goes off to see Raynor and Mallory or random people, things like that. To see him away from the boys and away from the action, involved in some very, very heavy, emotional conversation is a refreshing change to the character and humanises the character. Oh, definitely. And I mean, you know how much I ranted during the first season about how much of a big bastard he is.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nice to see we got a little bit of it in the last episode where he actually apologised and, got his canary speech from MM and stopped and made sure that Huey didn't get killed by Homelander and Annie.
Yeah.
This episode we're starting to see more of it again. And yeah, I think we needed it.
Yeah, because otherwise it was just, the character was going to burn out. I think it was like, well, the audience's interest in the character, because he was exceptionally one note.
Up to this point, he totally was, yeah. And that's why I think I'm really excited about season 3.
Yeah.
Because it's totally new territory now.
Mm. Homelander also goes on somewhat of an emotional journey this episode.
Yeah, mostly negative ones,
though. Homelander spiraling in a very different way, where Butcher is going down into this deep, dark well of emotion. Homelander is spiraling further into paranoia. You've got him watching the news coverage of Stormfront, and that leg is just going.
Yeah.
You've got his interactions with Madeline in the cabin, who's telling him he's the best, and they're sitting there watching Taxi Driver, and he's sympathising with the character whose name I've completely forgotten. Travis
Bickle?
Is it Bickle?
I don't know.
But he's sympathising with this character. They're sitting there watching the film. Madeline's sitting there looking really uncomfortable. Like, but no, it's not uncomfortable. It's like on edge.
Oh, yeah.
she's completely on edge while he's there going, look, do you see, this is what happens when you get disrespected.
Yeah, when you push a man too far.
He's ranting about Stormfront, he's ranting about the Seven, about how they're all weak, and she's there placating him and saying, no, it's okay, I love you, you built them, you nurtured them, you fed them, you know, and maybe it's time to weed out the weak ones.
Yeah.
It's masterful. And then he's lying on her lap and she's like petting his head. And
it's the speech that she gives him about all this, about how it's all you.
Yeah, we're going to cut the chaff.
It's pure Stillwell. And then just as we're thinking, maybe it is her, we get the reveal that it's not her at all.
No, she starts to moan and groan in a way that, and I think the most telling point about that, because she's kind of going, oh no, and you're like, oh god, is she a clone? Is she going to explode?
Yeah, what's happening?
And Homelander sits up all in a panic. His face goes from like serene to disgust.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, and it turns out it's Doppelganger.
Poor old Doppelganger.
It's Doppelganger the whole time. He's had Doppelganger holed up in a cabin, waiting on him. And I'm like, does he like text him like just before he arrives and is like, I'm on my way.
Yeah, have the milk ready.
Because he's always in that position, and it's too weird to not have been staged.
Yeah.
Like, because he had a big talk with him before this, and it's like, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, and here's a script I've written.
Well,
or has Doppelganger just been infiltrated? Because we've seen Doppelganger be Stillwell before.
Yeah.
So either he just does a really, really good Stillwell, or he's been given a really, really good script by Homelander.
I'd say he's just been given a really, really good script by Homelander. We see later in the kind of the scene towards the end when we go back to the cabin, we do see
he's back in first position.
Yeah, and he says the exact same things about, you know, I missed you and would you like some milk and yada yada yada. So it is clearly scripted, and I'd say he gave him like a series of topics of this is okay to talk about, this is not okay to talk about.
The amount of blackmail material Doppelganger must have on everybody.
Yeah.
Also, I would say he is just a giant walking S2D at this point.
Yeah. I'd say the bits of the fear that you see before you find out it's Doppelganger. It's like, oh, it makes sense now. Oh! Doppelganger is absolutely terrified the whole time that he'll play Stillwell wrong or do something to upset Homelander.
Yeah. And he explains that when he holds a form for too long, it's painful.
It really starts to hurt, yeah.
And then you get the brilliant bit, though, where it's a very low shot with Homelander with his back to him, and you get the morph back into it.
Yeah.
Which was really nicely done. And then and Homelander just clicks straight back into it, and he's like, Madeline, let me snuggle back up into your bosom. Yeah. Like, she literally is like, excuse me while I rest these on your forehead.
It's like there's a switch in Homelander's head that's like sexy, sexy, sexy. No, not sexy, not sexy, not sexy. Oh, sexy, sexy, sexy. But he totally unravels in this episode. And he does take that advice from Doppel Stillwell.
Yeah.
To try and go
Doppelwell.
To weed out the weak.
Yeah, he's still like, I don't know whether that was his own, that couldn't have been, this is the whole scripting thing that has me really confused, because that's something Stillwell would have said. Does Doppelganger know her well enough to do that? Because the way that he mulls it over, I don't think that had occurred to him. No,
I don't think that scene was supposed to have been a scripted scene from Homelander. I think he's come in, he's super frustrated, he's really pissed off about Stormfront, and Doppelganger is rightly afraid of angry Homelander, so just massages his ego as best he can. And if you think about it, Homelander had already said, just previous in that conversation, he said it's like a whole chain of weak links.
Yeah.
So he's just he's reiterating what Homelander's saying, but in a different way, and saying, oh, well, if they're weak links, why not get rid of them? And I wonder as well, is it a little bit of Doppelganger trying to open a spot up in the Seven for himself? You know, if he gets rid of the rest of them.
It's in his purview to stay on Homelander's good side.
Yeah, but I think that's it. I think that is just Doppelganger being like, I'm trying to keep him happy, and I'll say what he wants to hear and give him a suggestion. And Homelander takes that suggestion and runs with it. Because the next couple of scenes we see him in is him and Annie, which he obviously views as the weakest link he goes to see first. And we see him and Annie in the elevator.
Yeah, that's a high-speed elevator, because they get on 99 and he gets off on 69.
Nice. But, yeah, well, I mean, elevators are fast in tall buildings. What's not fast is the way he rams his hand into Annie's
Oh, no,
side.
even before that, when he gets on that elevator with her and she's worried and he's standing just behind her, number one, I don't care who the fuck you are, you get onto the elevator and you stand slightly behind me like that, I'm going to be freaked out. Just virtue of being female, that is like one of the creepiest things somebody can ever do, because they might like...
I know,
No. But when he stops the elevator and presses her up against the wall, and then the way he runs his hand down her is one of the most violating things I've seen him do. Like, he's got her by the throat, and then he deliberately runs his hand down her body to just below her ribs.
Yeah.
And it's so... As you're watching it, you're going, no. Like, you expect that hand to keep travelling. That's the intention that comes across from his movements. Like, actually what he then proceeds to do, which is jab his fingers up under her ribs, is less off-putting than what, well, at least where my mind went, that he was going to do to her.
Yeah, but that... that wouldn't have been a very Homelander move, I don't think.
No, but that's, I think, why it is so violating, is he's come from this really weird situation with Doppelwell.
Yeah.
To this, and it's like, oh God, what?
Yeah.
What else happened in that cabin?
There was, I totally agree with you about the feeling you got as he...
It really is just a violation of... Because he hasn't touched her. He doesn't touch people like that. You haven't seen him, even with Stillwell. He's not allowed to put his hands on her.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, and I think it's designed to be uncomfortable.
He's mad at her. He's saying that Maeve has begged him to spare her life, and then she couldn't even kill Huey. Yeah,
and luckily for Annie, she's
truthful.
She basically, she tells the truth. She just doesn't tell the entire truth.
No, but she tells enough of the, like, she is truthful about it. She's like, why would I save him? I hate him. Yeah. You know, he broke my heart. And that feeling is very, very true. Even though she's continuing to help him, she's doing it because it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing,
It's not anything to do with her feelings for them. In fact, she would rather not have to deal with him. Yeah. But she doesn't know how else to do it.
Well, nobody else is trying to take Vought down.
Yeah. So she's truthful in that respect. And the fact that she won't kill him is also extremely truthful. She's like, I'm not a murderer. Yeah. I don't do that.
Yeah, she says to him, if you want to kill me because I'm not a stone cold murderer, go ahead. Yeah. And she's right, because even in that scene that he's talking about in the previous episode, she's like, well, shouldn't we call the police and have him arrested? And Homelander himself says, yes, we should. But I want you to kill him.
Yeah. And he can't argue with her logic because, you know...
it's the truth.
Yeah, it's sound. And he knows she's not lying, and he's so mad when he leaves that elevator.
Yeah. What I really like as well is that you can hear a heartbeat. Yeah. I'm guessing it's supposed to be Annie's that you can hear. And he's listening to her heartbeat and can see that it's steady. Yeah. And she's panicked, but not for that reason, not because she's lying. No. So after that, he's
just on a rampage around Vought Tower,
his next weak link, and we see A-Train catches...
Shockwave.
Yes, catches view of Shockwave, and Shockwave gives him a real fucking cheeky grin and a nod and walks into a meeting, and A-Train...
No, he's getting into an elevator.
Oh, sorry. And A-Train basically runs off to Ashley and is like, what the fuck is he doing here? And she tells him he's there for, what was it?
Vought for Tots. It's an Irish program for obese toddlers because kids are getting fat. And he's like, hey, I love me some fat kids.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite A-Train line so far. Shit, I love me some fat kids.
Excuse me. Everything seems to be okay. She seems to have him calm down. Cue Homelander. Homelander's just like, hi, you've told him yet? No. And she's like, we're supposed to have a fucking meeting. Yeah. And he's like, nope, you're right. See it. Toodles. Bye.
Yeah, he decides that that's one more weak link he wants to get rid of. Yeah. And is like, hey, buddy, look, your heart. It's
you're not even cracking the top 10. You're making the 7. Therefore,
top 20, I think, is what he says to him.
There he goes, you're making the 7 and therefore me look bad.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
At least he did it in like relative privacy because it's better than what he does to Maeve.
Oh, it's much better than what he does to Maeve.
Like, and at least he does that yeah.
But he still gets his digs in when he's like, this was really hard for me. It's nothing personal and we'll always be friends, yada yada, etc., etc., and then walks out.
And Ashley's just like, oh God.
Oh, I do like A-Train's line about, he's like, this is fucking ridiculous. You used to get me my goddamn coffee to Ashley. And then he's off, as you said, to ruin Maeve's life. Yeah. On live TV.
Yeah, during an interview, which is just lovely.
That was one of the things I thought, again, was telling about Homelander. he goes in there with the intention of basically killing Starlight.
Yeah.
And she kind of manages to weasel her way out of it. So he's like, whatever. He'll deal with her later. He goes off, he gets rid of A-Train. He doesn't try to get rid of Maeve.
No, but
what he tries to do
is destroy her relationship.
Well, no, I think he knows that Elena and Maeve are together. And he rightly realises, okay, well, I can't get her to love me. But he's not really concerned with that anymore because he's got Ryan and stuff now.
Yeah.
So, but what he does want is to be able to control her again.
Yeah.
So he outs her and then, you know, says to her, I know the two of you were going. And he can now hold that over Maeve. That's what I took from it anyway. Like, but goddamn, that's fucking cold. Like,
he's such a dick.
Outing somebody on national TV, and the way he does it is so fucking... It's just as a defense so that he doesn't lose marketing points, basically, because the whole, what was it, hashtag hero so white?
Yeah, and the fact that VOD have almost exclusively recruited, like, white superheroes.
Well, it would be bad enough if it was a recruitment thing. But now everybody knows that the heroes are made. So it's not that they've only recruited white heroes. It's that they've pretty much only made white heroes. Yeah. Like she says, it's 92% white, 6% African American, and then 1% each for Asian and Latin.
Yeah. And he's then going through the 7.
He's like, well, we've got A-Train, who's a black man, who he's just fired.
Yeah.
So he'll probably have to roll that one back.
Noir, who doesn't really identify as any race, so
that's them covered. And then he's like, and we've got our very own gay superhero.
And you can see that, like, there's just a very subtle tensing, and she's so aware, and she's been media trained to perfection that nothing crosses that face. And she just kind of has a little glance at him, like,
are you really doing this?
With a half smile of...
Yeah, because Maeve has to pretend like this was planned. She can't freak out. She has to pretend like this was the plan was to out Maeve on Maria Menounos' show.
Yeah.
And when he finishes, he's like, so there you go. Maeve's gay. Like, yeah. That's your point, Ruin. And yeah, poor Maeve. And then we see the aftermath when the two of them are arguing in the hallway. And she tries to say that she broke it off with Elena before she ever got into 7 and never got with Homelander, which was nice that we get a bit of a timeline for when they first got together.
Yeah.
Because I was never sure if their relationship, Elena and Maeve's relationship, was supposed to be before or after her and Homelander's relationship. Yeah. So it would seem that they were together before her and Homelander. But he basically tells her, oh no, I'm super happy for you and I want you to be in love. It's a great thing. And yeah, it is just, now I can control you again.
Yeah, he's just wrecking lives left, right and centre at the minute because he's being a little bitch.
Yeah, and then he tries to finish off his rampage by going after the person who's really pissing him off.
Who's Stormfront.
And he confronts Stormfront, who just tries to rub it in his face.
Yeah, well, she was hosting a rally outside.
Yeah, she's been hosting at that point when he comes to see her. It's after the rally.
She had hosted a rally out the front, basically talking about how VOD aren't doing enough and that people have to take their own power back and yada yada yada. And it's an extremely dangerous rhetoric that she's spouting, and she's whipping up this frenzy.
Yeah,
around anti-hero sentiment, whilst also being like, "I'm the hero for you."
That scene is the start. I think we'll probably talk about it a lot more in the next episode.
Yeah.
But that scene is the start of the real, dodgy rhetoric, the real hate-filled rhetoric that doesn't sound hate-filled, that's just designed to turn people against other people and not anything to do with soup terrorists at all.
But you've got her prior to her confrontation with Homelander. This is what she's been off doing, is stirring up crowds of people.
Stirring the pot.
So when it comes to Homelander being like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, what? What do you mean, what am I doing?
Yeah, and she pushes him a little bit too far and his eyes glow and she looks genuinely scared.
Yeah.
Because she's like, may have taken it a bit too far. Sorry.
And does apologise and is like, okay, I pushed you too far, but, we're testing out boundaries.
Yeah, and she says, well, all I'm trying to do is help you.
Yeah.
And he's like, how is this help? And she says that she has her great little line about how you don't need 50 million people to love you. You can't win the country anymore. Nobody can win the entire country anymore.
No, that she does make some very good points there. That he needs to be loved by everybody, but he can't. Nobody can. Nobody can win over. The US demographic is too disparate now to win everybody over.
Yeah,
she's like, you don't need 5 million people or 100 million people to love you. You just need 5 million people pissed off.
Yeah, and it's so true of a line.
especially given when it aired initially, there was so much civil unrest actually happening in the US.
Yeah.
That it really resonated as well.
Yeah.
How easy it is through rhetoric and propaganda, for lack of a better word, to promote ideas of hatred and whip people up into such frenzies that they will single-mindedly follow one person.
Yeah. And as they develop the rest of the season, that aspect comes more and more to the fore, and they deal with it really well, I think.
Watching it as a non-US citizen and having watched the situation going on in the US at the same time, it was a bit of like art imitating life.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a little bit like, oh God, the satire is so real.
But she actually seems to kind of get through to Homelander there.
Well, she stands up to him. She doesn't cower. Maeve is very much a placater of his ego. Stillwell always played to his ego.
Oh yeah.
So she's got the touch of the new girl's got balls. Nobody talks to me like that.
She's still playing to his ego. She just does it in a different way.
Yeah.
She says, like, you don't need everybody to love you to be the most popular. You only need the right people. Yeah. Is effectively what she's saying. And it seems to kind of get through to him, because in that last scene with poor Doppelganger, Doppelganger tries everything to placate Homelander in the way he's used to. But he sees that it's not working with Stillwell. That he's trying to come onto Homelander in the normal Stillwell form, and it's not working. So he makes the brilliant choice of turning into Homelander. and
also the fact that he's there in the negligee
Anthony Starr,
as well.
Yeah. And tells him, well, why don't we try this? You're so handsome and
you're so strong. Yeah. And it's not gay when it's with yourself.
It's not gay.
And I'm gonna suck your dick so hard.
And you can look in your own eyes when you come. And it's none of that. It's what I think snaps it for Homelander at the end is when Doppelganger's like, everybody loves you. You're everybody's favourite. And he's like, well, no, hang on. I've just learned I don't need everybody to love me. Yeah. And decides that he's had enough of Doppelganger.
And breaks his neck.
And that's the end of poor old Doppelganger.
Also, interesting to know that Doppelganger died as Homelander.
Yeah, like, we didn't see him revert back.
Yeah, he didn't morph back into what he is. So I wonder if he's just going to hang on to that corpse for, safekeeping.
Yeah, it could be handy.
Yeah.
If he stays that way. I reckon it was just CG trying to cheap out a little bit.
Why?
Because CG shots are fucking expensive.
Yeah, but they could have cut away and cut back. Like, he could have snapped his neck as him, and as they do.
Oh, when you cut to the floor, just have
him fall back.
True. That's it. Yeah, well, I suppose that's a fair point. Okay, so that's canon in the show.
Yeah.
Doppelganger
we've got a spare Homelander corpse now.
Yeah. Grant. I wonder
not America's
that
ass.
Might come back to it. I wasn't expecting Doppelganger to come back into it.
No, I really enjoyed Doppelganger. I liked the way he'd just kind of pop up and be doing weird shady shit.
Yeah, it would have been fun to keep him around for a little bit longer, but
also
for Homelander's journey in the show, I understand why they killed him at the end.
I'm a little bit sad that they did, because watching him walk off in the Madeline Stillwell get up with the heels in season 1 is one of the funniest parts of that episode.
And equally, it was great to have Elizabeth Shue back for this episode. And she apparently was only too delighted to come back. She didn't care what it was for. She was like, cool, I'll happily come back.
Because her presence is missed a lot, because we were under the impression that you'd get a lot more of Edgar, which doesn't seem to be happening.
Yeah, he the first episode he was very present.
It's not as much of a presence as Stillwell, who was interacting with them on a daily basis, and even though Ashley she's very easily dominated by Homelander and his agenda.
I think they didn't want to overdo it with Stan Edgar this season, because he's going to be around next season as well. Yeah. So I think they held him back a little bit, and that was probably maybe why they decided to bring Ashley's character back.
Yeah.
So that you could still have that
stand-in on 99.
And I think they just didn't want to overexpose Stan Edgar this season.
Yeah.
And if he is going to be around for a few seasons, probably the right call.
Plus, we're also getting a lot more of the other background tech support.
Annika's back. Yes, Annika's back.
Poor old Annika in
just in 2 scenes.
And she's there, she's bopping away, she's eating an almond joy. Black Noir just very silently arrives up behind her. Her reaction is amazing, because he's just standing there staring at the back of her head.
Yeah.
And you know that feeling you get when somebody's watching,
just watching you.
And she just kind of like tilts the head around a little bit and then goes, whoo! It's like,
offers him some of the almond joy.
Oh, Black Noir, didn't see you there. And he's just got a bin. He's like, put the chocolate bar in there.
Yeah, you don't want none of that almond joy. And just hands her a sign that says butcher. Very
crudely written in crayon.
Yeah. And
which makes me feel for him because he's an excellent pianist. I'm like, oh, nobody taught him how to write.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, there's
so many contradictory things about Black Noir.
Yeah, like he can body lock, he understands complicated Japanese tea ceremonies, he can play the piano, but he sobbed like a baby when he found out that he was made.
Yeah, and scribbles like a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
No, I love his mystery.
Hands her this and she's like, oh, okay, yeah, alright. And the whole scene is hilarious. She's like, oh, I'll contact you when you find him. And he comes to you.
She's like, oh, okay, or you can join me.
And she starts to look for him and she goes, all right, we know he was on the boat with everybody. They're tracing through the butcher's steps. And she's like, right, we know he went in here. And they start a facial recognition search for him. And when it cuts back to her later... Yeah. She's got like 5 empty cans of Red Bull. Yeah. He's still staring at her when she finally gets the hit on Butcher getting over the wall into the compound. Yeah. So
somebody did see it, but apparently they're not live viewed feeds. Yeah. Which is a bit weird.
Yeah. So I said that Jurassic Park ass wall did about as much use as it is in the park. Like.
But there's definitely incongruity there because we see Becca holding up the smokes to the camera before she gets into the car with Billy as if to say to somebody who's watching the camera, I'm just going for a smoke. Yeah. But yet when Billy jumps over the wall and gives the finger to the camera, nobody's watching that one.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. But so, yeah.
Yeah, I think Annika's just here. Annika and Black Noir is just to set up next week's episode.
Yeah. And also probably the fact that he's blaming Butcher for ruining all their lives.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Well, remember it for next week because I'll tell you why then.
Yeah, so that's Black Noir is off on a little mission
to find Butcher. Yeah, it's nice to see that the secondary characters in this episode. Annika's come back. Doppelganger's come back. We got a bit of Mallory as well. Yeah. It was nice to see that.
We get Cherie as well.
Oh yeah, of course we get Cherie back.
During Frenchie's spiral, he goes off to see Cherie. I really want her place. They have some anonymous French sex.
Well, I don't know if it's anonymous.
No, but
certainly casual.
Yeah, and she's like, right, you're a fucking state, whatever.
Yeah, what's actually wrong with you? Yeah. And yeah, that's where we find out that he's very upset about not being able to help Kimiko, and he says he tried to kiss her, and Cherie's response is, and you thought that would make her feel better about the death of her brother.
He's like, that's your problem. You're always trying to help. She's not a kitten stuck in a tree.
Yeah.
You know, and you think that if you can help her, it'll make up for the deaths of those children that Lamplighter burned. So she's getting straight to the heart of the problem there.
Yeah. Yeah. Something you called out way back when.
Yeah. She's getting straight to the heart of the problem, which is his guilt over whatever actions. At this point, we still don't know what happened with the Lamplighter situation, apart from the fact that somebody, presumably Frenchie's negligence, caused the deaths of children.
Yeah, we just know Frenchie is blamed for it. We don't know why yet.
Nobody wants on their conscience ever. But it's nice to see the emotional breakdowns because they've all been running on adrenaline and all this for so long. For it to be a slower paced episode where you can see the toll that this is taking on all of their psyches. So Frenchie's like gone back to Cherie, who's his oldest friend, who's a comfort to him. You've got Annie and Huey. Well, Annie and Huey meeting up. Annie being in a state.
Yeah, when he gets the call from that they have to go and do this thing.
Yeah.
And he tries to leave and then it's like, you just gonna stay here in this bridge under the park?
And she starts to cry because she's just been attacked by Homelander. Their interactions are quite fun because it's still in that really awkward, I don't like you, but I kind of like you because you did the right thing.
Yeah.
They end up all going on a road trip. She clearly needs to not be in New York. She makes an excuse to vote. The three of them head out now to find this Liberty person.
Yeah, and when Huey says to she needs this, which is true, his response is, she needs this or you need this.
Yeah.
And it's just a little subtle reminder from do you not remember the conversation we had about don't be dragging her into this shit?
Again, yeah, she's just gotten out, leave her alone.
And I do quite like the development of and Annie's relationship.
Yeah. Well, the whole don't drag her back into it, I think, as well, when he's having the conversation with Butcher about him being in charge, and Butcher leaves, and then he's just left staring at the dollhouse, that he's been building for his daughter.
Yeah, will I ever get to finish this?
Yeah, will I ever get to finish this? Will I be able to go home?
Mm.
How much am I sacrificing for him to be able to go home?
Yeah, and he
doesn't want to see anybody else come in and lose everything.
No, he doesn't. And I think that's...
We get more of his motivation as well later on.
Well, Butcher says to him when he's first sending him off as well, he's like, we'll do this thing for Mallory, find out about Liberty, and she'll help you get... You know, she got me Becca. Yeah, and she doesn't even like me.
She'll help you the way she helped me, and she likes you more.
And I think that's part of the reason that, as well, that MM is like, well, let's not bring Annie. MM wants to do this professionally, and he wants to do it right, because his family might be on the line on this one.
Yeah, no, Huey does have a very good point, though. It's like, if we're going to go knock on the door of an old superhero, wouldn't it make sense to have one of our own, just in case?
Yeah. And
he makes a good point. They end up going, there's a kind of a very sweet little bonding moment in the car.
With the radio and Billy Joel. And again, another little subtle bit of musical foreshadowing.
It's off Stormfront.
Yeah, We Didn't Start the Fire is off, the album it's off is called Stormfront.
Mm.
And given later events of the episode, just a little subtle bit of foreshadowing. But yeah, they have a little sing-song.
Which is very quickly shut down by MM, who's like, I'm not your fucking chauffeur, you're not in a date, stop it.
Yeah.
Then you're starting to get more Annie taking notice of his quirks, the finger tapping. In the restaurant, she watches him stir the coffee 3 times and then place it centrally. And then we get a little bit of the progression of their relationship with the chocolate donut story.
The conversation about their fathers.
And then the Baskin Robbins story, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very sweet. And then he kind of, you can tell he's warmed up to Annie. Because when she's leaving and she's wiping her hands and he's like, you're dry wiping? Oh, no. Hell no. Come over here. Come here. Let me look after you.
Yeah, the wet wiping versus dry wiping bit is quite funny. I almost wish it had gone on a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But because it gets interrupted by a truck smashing into a car.
Which also shows Annie's true character. Her immediate response is to go and help.
Yeah.
And they're trying to pull her back and be like, you can't, not with
us.
Not
now, not with us here.
You cannot do that. And she's so torn. And they're like, look, it's okay. And they basically have to like manhandle her back into the car.
Yeah, Huey basically has to say like, look, there's nothing we can do that's not already being done. Look, that guy's calling the police. We can't undo what happened. And it could cost us everything if we hang around. And Annie reluctantly goes. But they're right, because her superpowers can't help that situation.
No, but it just shows what sort of a person she is fundamentally. Her first response was to run and try and help.
Yeah. And there's a couple more bits of, obviously, throughout their journey, we see Annie and Huey kind of rekindling their relationship.
Yeah.
When they stop at the motel.
You also see a couple of lovely posters and stuff like that along the way, like the baby you're about to abort could be super.
Oh, God, yeah.
The big painting of Homelander and the flag is the Mason-Dixie.
It's the rebel flag. And
as a black man driving past that, MM must have fucking shit himself.
Well, I don't know if he'd shit himself so much as he'd probably just seethe with rage.
Yeah.
But yeah, the motel scene is nice as well. Just the development of it, because it's MM and Huey sharing the room.
And you can see all of MM's jewellery is lined up perfectly.
Yeah.
It's because they keep focusing on it during the episode, like him tapping the finger, that when you see that, you're like, oh. You already knew he had his Purell thing going on, and his desk in his office was perfect as well. It was little small things.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to be, because they're focusing on it more and more and more.
And when Huey goes outside to the vending machines with Annie explicitly says it. She's like, what's up with his OCD? And Huey's like, what? What are you talking about?
She's like, oh, this, and this. And he's like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, and the development of the OCD is so in line with MM's character, because when he starts talking about his dad.
Yeah.
And everything his dad did to take down Vought, and then later on when they're driving back and he says, his dad wasn't a hero, he was just a man with a disease. And
I have the same disease and I don't want to pass it down to my children.
And
the obsession.
Yeah, exactly. That disease is the obsession. And I think that really explains his longing look at the Vermont country dollhouse, because MM can't leave the job undone.
No.
His OCD won't allow him to stir the sugar 2 times. It has to be 3 times, but equally it won't allow him to leave a job undone. And he knows he can't go back to his family until this shit's over.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's the outward effect of the mental obsession. is these are little things. He can't control the bigger picture, but he can control these smaller actions. But the candy bar conversation is very fun.
Yeah, it's real kind of sweet and oh, god damn it, that wasn't intended to be a pun. It's a sweet, lighthearted scene.
Yeah.
Where they're making fun of each other and Huey's making jokes about how her candy bars are only liked by serial killers. And
what is an almond joy? Because we don't have one.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't have any of the candy that is mentioned.
I think an almond joy is like a Snickers, but with almonds.
Ew.
Maybe it doesn't have caramel. It might just be nougat and almonds and chocolate. I have no idea what a Charleston Chew is.
All I know, the only reason I know Charleston Chew is from Richard
Futurama.
Nixon and Futurama. Charleston Chew.
Yeah.
And a bit of honey sounds like a crunchy.
Yeah, it probably is some kind of honeycomb bar. I can't remember what Huey's choices are. But yeah, we don't know American candy, folks. Sorry.
Yeah. If you want to send us some, please do.
Yeah, can't analyse this scene unless we have, tested some of the products ourselves.
Yeah, I have no idea if an almond joy is any good or not. It doesn't sound amazing.
Yeah, their candy talk somehow ends up leading them to the bedroom.
Bam, chicka, bow, wow,
yeah, and they get it on.
Yeah.
They get it on. That's kind of all we see of them at the motel. And when we catch up with them next, they're actually outside the door of... Well, they think they're outside the door of Liberty's house.
Yeah.
And they knock, and there's a black lady answers the door and says, "No, go away, goodbye." Doesn't want to hear anything about it. And MM tries then. And that's when we get the story about his dad and his dad's crusade against Vought. We don't know what started it, but we know it consumed him. And he ended up having a heart attack and dying at 55, I think MM says.
Him slumped over the typewriter.
Yeah, and he tells this lady, look, his fight got passed down to me.
Yeah.
And that seems to be enough to convince her. And she lets them in and tells her story.
Yeah, but she also mentions in that when he starts to talk to her, she's like, no, I took your money.
Oh yeah, I took your money and I didn't
Which we've
say
already
anything.
seen that Vought will pay off people.
Yeah. And yeah, that's where he says, oh, hang on, no, we're not with Vought.
Yeah.
He tells the story about his dad. They go inside. And she tells the story about a night when she was out in the late 60s, early 70s with her brother when she was like 11 years old. And Liberty showed up.
And for her brother's driving the car and she's asleep in the back seat, and he said Liberty stops the car and tells him that the car was used in a robbery earlier that night, and he's like, no ma'am. She proceeds to spew some incredibly
hateful
racist sentiments, and then she doesn't even have the decency to just kill him.
Yeah, she caves his face in with a punch and just leaves.
And
you see it's really well done, the like prosthetics and stuff, but I'm glad they showed it as opposed to just kind of showing his dead body to actually see
just how little she that's what I was saying, like she doesn't even have the decency to kill him. She doesn't even
no, she basically just caves in the front of his face, his jaw, and
leaves him to suffer.
Yeah, and you get to see it, and
see it through the eyes of this small
little
child
girl,
who's just seen her big brother,
and this is there were no mobile phones back then. No. She basically had to wait there with her dying brother until the next car came, and who knows how long that might have been. So your poor girl, absolutely traumatized.
Also, hearing her brother say, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be a hero." And the story is absolutely heartbreaking, and nobody back then was going to believe a small black girl, especially.
Yeah, her parents didn't even want to go to the police over it.
It was stirring up too much trouble to go up against Vought and a white superhero.
Mm.
And they took the money, and it was $2,000 because that was all they deemed her brother's life to be worth.
Yeah.
And then she drops the bombshell.
Well, she says... that's all she's going to say.
She'll kill me. Yeah,
and
she'll kill me. And they're like,
Huey asks, why are you so afraid? She says, well, she'll kill me. Nobody's seen her since 1979 is Huey's response. And she goes, no, not quite.
And picks up the recent paper, points at the picture of Stormfront and says, that's her. That's Liberty.
That's Liberty.
Opening up all sorts of questions about whether or not V lengthens your life.
Yeah, the conversation that they have on the way back about how could this be?
If you can heal the way they do.
Yeah, so she's at least
90.
Yeah, well, it's 50 odd years since that incident.
Yeah.
And, so Stormfront's at least 70 or 80.
Yeah.
And, they're just trying to figure out how. Is it just to do with the V? where did she go in the intervening time between Liberty and Stormfront? What was she up to?
Which also makes sense to a comment that Stormfront makes earlier in the episode when she's talking to Homelander about changing with the times. God knows I have.
Yeah. And her reference to Pippi Longstockings makes a little bit more sense, because it's not exactly something you would expect a super cool hipster to be talking about.
Racism is beginning to make some more sense, because now she looks like she's a mad redneck.
Well, from how she treated that poor boy.
Yeah.
And what she says to him, it's...
Like, she's made the comment about you yellow bastard. She's like, you're less than human. She's hardcore racist. Oh god, yeah. Full on hardcore racist. And yeah, the guys are basically just trying to parse it out and what it could mean. And I think MM makes the comment about that's what Raynor was getting close to. Raynor had maybe figured this out. That V makes him live a really long time.
Or, well, just that. But if Raynor had made the connection between Liberty and Stormfront, was that part of the reason her head got exploded?
Yeah. Was
it that she had figured something else out about that? And that's all the Liberty revelation we really get in this episode. When they get back to New York and MM drops Annie and Huey off, they have a little conversation before they go their separate ways, and it doesn't go quite the way Huey would have hoped, I'd imagine.
No, given that when their opening conversation is about the fact that she listened to his voicemail that he left where he was like, "You're my second chance," and he was like, "Oh God, please let's not talk about that." In fairness, yeah, she's doing what he wanted. She's like, "Yeah, okay, fair enough. You don't want to talk about it. We can't do this. Bye bye. It was fun. Yeah, see ya."
I don't know. Is that why? Because he wouldn't talk about it. I took it more as, you know, they did what they did on their trip, and they had sex, and she's kind of thinking, oh no, that was too good. Like what she says to him, we can't afford to feel good, we can't afford to feel comfortable. And yeah, I think it's a distraction. The speech she gives about being so on edge around the tower, she knows she barely got out of that scrape with Homelander. She's probably not going to be able to get out of a scrape like that again, so she can't really afford to have that relationship with Huey. And I think the feelings...
They needed the little escape, and now it's time to go back to reality. Like, that was her little break, and now she needs to go back to, like, fucking fending for her life every single day.
Well, I think the little break showed her as well that, like, after they had slept together, that was when she realised, oh no, that felt really good, and we can't afford that right now.
No, with all these new revelations as well.
Yeah, and whereas Huey can't think that pragmatically. No. I don't think. And Huey's just distraught over it when she leaves.
But throughout the whole episode, you get these little interview segments.
Yeah.
And then we get the final culmination of this one who, if anybody spoke to me like that, I would just have to leave. It's the pacing of it. Really.
Breathy.
Yeah.
And so slow.
Yeah,
she sounds like
crazy. It's Happy Birthday, Mr. President.
It's Happy Birthday, Mr. President crossed with Stevie from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes, it is! But it turns out that these are candidates interviewing to be the Deep's wife.
Yep.
This is all part of the Church of the Collective's plan to get him back into the Seven. Is they're going to rehab his reputation by marrying him off to a chosen person.
Yeah, and Deep's like, I want her. Yeah, I want the sexy one. It's her, right? Yeah, and she's the one.
Nope. It's one, and I can't even remember which one it is.
Cassandra. It's the one who talks about the lovers of...
Verona?
No. The ones, the two skeletons found together.
They're two men.
Yeah, I know.
The two skeletons are male.
Yeah. That's Cassandra. And Carol is like, oh, yeah, no, Cassandra's the right one. And Deep's like, I thought I got to choose. You do. And you're choosing Cassandra. Yeah. And explains, look, we're trying to rehabilitate your image, and you're a womanizer, so we want you to go with the long-term commitment girl.
Yeah.
Because that will do better for you. And she's like, do you want to get back into the Seven, or do you want to marry the sexy, hot, breathy girl? And he's like, fine, I want to get back into Seven, and agrees to marry Cassandra.
But even then, like, their communication still, they're still manipulating the shit out of him, and every time he looks like he's like, well, fuck you, I don't need you, they're like, oh, but we have this.
Yeah.
It's like, you can leave now with the jet ski, but what's in the box?
Yeah, they keep dangling the carrot of returning to the Seven in front of them to get everything that they want out of it, which is presumably just to get their finger into the pot pie.
Yeah, well, he seems to be well known already
Who the head of the church and the church in general. Yeah, we've gotten a few comments like the one from Stormfront where she was like, "Oh, you sound like you're in the church." But yeah, the deep stuff was nice. Well, it
was just a little reminder of this is what's going on, because at the end of the previous episode, he's killed a whale.
Yeah, he's killed a whale and been embarrassed by Homelander.
And I was fully expecting when we come back to him in this episode that there would be some sort of shame guilt spiral going on.
No,
so
it was nice
for him to be like, yes, I'm positive and upbeat, but still kind of really confused and stupid.
Yeah, and
it was nice to see that he hadn't taken the Homelander comments to heart.
Plus, as well, it's
I don't want him to feel bad about his skills.
Where that scene is placed is like just before the end, so it's just after Becca and Butcher's emotional ending.
Yeah,
and then after that is Annie telling Huey it's over.
Yeah.
And then we get the deep scene, and then it's followed by Homelander killing Doppelganger.
Yeah,
so they're all pretty downer scenes, except for the deep.
There's a lot of relationships ending.
Yeah, it's all downers, so I think that's why it was put in there as well. Here's the start of a relationship. Might not be a functional one or a very healthy one, but yeah, I think it was to push in a little bit of levity at the end of the episode. And as you said, a contrast between all the other relationships breaking down or ending. We have the start of this one forming. But yeah, it was a nice way to end it out, I thought.
Yeah.
Because you come down with that deep scene, and then you get your one little, not a cliffhanger, but shocker at the end when Homelander's like, no, I don't need anybody to love me, everybody to love me anymore, and kills Doppelganger.
Yeah.
It was a nice way to end it off, I thought. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this episode. It was definitely a slower pace.
Yeah.
But as we said, it was more character driven, so you needed that slow burn.
I think the frenzy pace matched the last episode because you're as caught up in it as the characters are. They're jumping from moment to moment to moment.
Yeah, and it was all action.
They're dealing with extremely heavy topics and very emotional conversations and very complex feelings.
Yeah.
So you can't rush that. You have to be given time to absorb that.
Yeah, the pacing in this was nice in that there was never too many really heavy things in a row. We had our little bits of levity of A-Train talking about shit, I love fat kids, and the bits with the deep and the interviews intercut throughout, which as well, the interview segments are supposed to be a reference to When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed this episode. I think they did what's coming, things start to ramp up. So I think, they wanted to just put a kind of a slower episode in there. Plus, this was the first one that was released weekly. The first 3 episodes were released together. So you had episode 1, episode 2, and then the madness of episode 3. And people had a week break to digest it all. And then they came back in with something a little bit slower. Yeah. And I think it worked for the pacing of the season.
And it answers a lot of questions as well regarding events of the previous episodes.
Yeah. It fills in some of those blanks.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you would disliked about it? Would have changed?
Not really. I enjoyed it for the most part. I'm still annoyed by them all just walking around in their day-to-day get-up.
Yeah, there was some
without any sort of like.
Yeah, Annie spent an awful lot of time just wandering around in normal clothes.
No,
and
not
getting
her
recognized.
in particular. It's more to do with the fact that Butcher just had a hood up, that sort of thing. But that will always annoy me because I'm like, aren't you supposed to be wanted by everybody? The lack of surveillance tech, like the fact that
except for when it suited them. Yeah,
the fact that Annika doesn't find him until it suits the plot.
Yeah,
pissed me off because I was like, hang on, they're going on about like when Becca drives up to the wall to shout and it's like, show me the doctor. Yeah, there's somebody clearly watching that camera, and if you've already had a breach by Homelander, surely you would be watching it.
Yeah, it's just
that bugged me because I was like, oh, okay, you're clearly all your tech is for fucking nothing.
Yeah, I think I'd have been okay with it if they hadn't previously shown us how much there was and how effective it was.
Yeah,
to then have it be undermined by Butcher being able to hop over a wall, give him the finger, and then get all the way to, as you said, her fucking car.
Yeah, like I understand that he's supposed to be ex-SAS or he's Special Forces anyway.
I think he's a Royal Marine. In the comics, he was a Royal Marine.
Yeah, I don't think it has been specified really in this, but he's supposed to be some sort of Special Forces.
Definitely UK Army.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough, but you still hopped over the wall with a fucking rope, didn't even take the rope down.
Yeah.
So whatever about you doing it under the cover of darkness, and it is, okay, you could have avoided all the cameras. How?
Potentially.
I don't know, but you left the rope.
So even if he did manage to avoid the cameras, does nobody do perimeter checks
to
find the rope? Like, because he's there at least, he's there overnight.
He's there at least 2-3 days.
Well,
that's what I got from
minimum, he shows up at night time and we see him in daylight.
Yeah.
So minimum he was there overnight. And she says that the garbage truck is supposed to picks up at like 11 or something like that.
I think they're there 2 nights.
Yeah, I think it could be longer, but minimum he's there at least overnight.
Yeah.
So nobody did a perimeter check the whole fucking night. Nobody reviewed the cameras the whole fucking night.
Yeah.
It's only because
Black
Nora was annoying Annika that anybody even knows he was there in the first place.
Should they not have these, if they're looking for these people, especially when they're trying to he can take apart their whole Madeline Stillwell cover story.
Yeah.
Surely, as soon as somebody, like, you would have, like, fucking somebody watching, and you know he's been there.
Mm.
Surely you would have facial recognition software running, looking for hits through all cameras that they have access to anyway.
Yeah.
Just in case he happened to come across one. They've gotten him, I mean, they had the pictures from the fucking boat.
Well,
from
and
the
as well,
police helicopter, so clearly they have access to that, and they can't even watch their own goddamn facilities.
And the boys are the only ones who could really possibly counter Vought's version of events of what happened with the super terrorist.
Yeah.
So yeah, they should really want to know where the boys are right now.
Yeah, that was the only thing that really annoyed me, was the apparent lack of security at this fucking Truman Show compound that they got going on.
except for when it was plot convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
annoyed me a bit as well, but those are the kind of things that piss us off as
well.
Yeah. I don't mind. For me, it's one of those things, if you establish a rule, stick to that rule.
Yeah.
So you've established that there's a lot of surveillance there, stick to that.
Yeah, it could have been
showing cutting a camera or something, or looping a feed.
Something.
Just one small scene would have been enough. But I mean, I suppose if that's our only nitpick of the episode, still a pretty damn good episode.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next week definitely to talk Season 2, Episode 5. I can't for the life of me remember what the name of it is, but I know it's
pretty long this season.
Yeah, I definitely remember it being a juicy episode.
I have no memory of this place.
That's okay. Well, you have trouble remembering the episodes after we've watched them.
Yeah. So, I have no memory of this place.
So that's okay. But we will, as I say, we'll be back next week, guys. In the meantime, if you want to leave us a review, let us know. We're not just screaming into the void. Send us a tweet. Send us an email.
That's so fun.
Oh, well, we can scream into the void when we want to.
Sometimes it screams back.
Yeah. So scream back, guys. You can follow us on Twitter at rantsmono. You can send us an email to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And for the minute, you can find all of our podcasts up on all good podcast providers. We're thinking we might go exclusively to Votify, but we'll let you know if we do. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.
We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Monorants.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Sci-Fi.